All right, so welcome everyone. My name is Brian Yates. I am a double silver with Team Elevate and Team Sky. Today I wanted to go over retention. And what I'm talking about retention is why is retention important? And it's how we keep clients. So, first and foremost, we know a lot of our clients can call Carnival. They can go in and they can call Royal, and or they could go in and could do Expedia themselves. So why do they book with us? One, a lot of times it's a difficult trip that they reach out to us on. Or two, it's just they don't have the time. So once we get that lead, how do we turn that lead into a repeat client? So first and foremost with me, I don't treat it as a transaction. I treat it as a conversation. Because how many times have we called Carnival? Have you called Royal Caribbean before you became an agent or even after? That it's all about the transaction. It's all about getting you what you called to get done and get off the phone. This is one way we build value. So like I go in and while I'm speaking with the client, I'm like, okay, so tell me about your trip. I want to know the when, the why, the how. The reason being is because that makes it personal to them. So we want to understand the why behind the trip. That helps us build a client relation. I stay in touch with them in between. So I don't go in and just get the booking done and then they don't hear from me again. I go in, I reach out, I ask how things are going, if they have any questions for me. Um, and then they'll not only are they going to come back because you've went in and taken the time to explain the what's, the whys, the wins, and when they do call you, I have a notebook. So you can do OneNote, you can do a notebook. I have these that sit on my desk, and I know my green screen loves these. But you can go in and just take notes, jot down the person's name, jot down they like this or they like that dining time or they prefer this type of ship. I use OneNote mostly because it's easier for me to keep it all in one place. The notebooks are here just in case I'm in a meeting and I need, or I have somebody text, I can just write it down real quick and then I transpose it into OneNote. So, but it's just easier, therefore they feel like that you're that basically that you are there or they are your only client when we all know they're not. So it just helps make them feel comfortable because you're listening to what they have to say. So follow up. Once I make a booking, I'm going to check in with them after, not only after the trip, just to see how the trip went. I'm going to follow up before it went. I'm going to go in possibly up to 30 days or so before the final
God,
payment date is due.
feel better.
Mhm. So we're going to go in and yeah, if you see on their Facebook, if you're friends with them on Facebook that they're sick, you know, send them a message. Hey, I hope you get it feeling better. Um, Also, especially with a lot of my clients that are their first time that they're cruising, I set their expectations. I tell them what they need to expect. Like, there's normally a great party at Sail Away. Go in, you are the expert. So go in and actually share some of that knowledge with them. Share them some of the theme nights that you may have. Share some of the things that if you've been on the ship before, some of the things that you liked about the ship. Because as again, we are the expert. So go in, share that information. Okay. And make sure they know you care. And what I mean by that, remember what they asked for. And like I said, that's where that notebook comes in handy because I'm going to go ahead and tell you my memory is not what it used to be. So that one note that I have the guest name and just a little bit of information. When they come back from the trip and they tell me that there's certain things that they didn't like about the trip, then I want to write that down. So therefore I don't put them on early dining next time if that's what they didn't like. Or if they didn't like a a certain type of cabin. It's just helping you to remember what their likes and dislikes were. So therefore, you're able to go in and cater towards them without as much of an effort. So reach out with no agenda. This is hard for us because we are salespeople. We do sell cruises, but the whole thing is, if it's their birthday, send them a text, send them a card. If plans go wobbly, so if they go in and something just doesn't work out when they get to the hotel, have their back. Reach out to the property, see what you can do. If you need to, reach out to Archer, um, and make them feel like your only client. So the way I do this with making them feel like my only client is I'm going to stop the presentation real quick for one reason, and that is, all right. So all my guests get a letter similar to this before every sailing. And I use Copilot to help me write this. This is just the generic one that's up there. But I'll go into Copilot, fill in with the client's name, a little tidbit about their trip. And what I mean by a little tidbit, like if they're taking the Carnival Valor or they're taking the MSC Europa, World Europa, maybe put in a couple of ports that they're visiting and just go in and add a little bit of details about their trip so that Copilot can help write it out. I mail this out to them right before they sail. So if they're local, I mail it on the day they sail. And the reason for that is because they're going to get it back when they get back. I'm going to check in with them the day of. I'm going to set a reminder to reach out to them the day they board, the day they check into the hotel. Because normally in our conversations, we've at least gotten what time they're going to check in, or at least I know mine. They normally tell me, well, we're going to be there early. What's the earliest time we can check in? Or it's going to be a long drive. They're going to give you tidbits. So send them a text. If they prefer calls, put that in your notes. Give them a call later on in the day, just asking if everything went well at check-in, or if there's anything that you can do, if there's any recommendations they may need. I also go in and send them my Viator links for those areas and just put on there just in case there's something y'all have downtime and want to plan something. Here's a vendor that I have that has trusted um, excursions or trusted tours. Also, once they get home, I'm going to go in and I have mine saved. So this is mine, but it's the Carnival's welcome home offer. But if you're looking for it, you can go to the goccl.com, go to marketing tools and do program flyers. And it's right here. It's the welcome home program. You can customize this. You can print it off. I have a lot of older clients that prefer mail. So I'll go in and I will print this off because here's mine, like I said, and I will print off this letter and I'll put it in the mail to them on the day that they board. So therefore, when they get home, what's the first thing you're going to do when you get home? You're going to go through and you're going to check your mail. That's number one thing when I get home is I go check my mail. It means something whenever they get home and, oh, they thought about us. You're checking on them. After bookings, you can also go in and send them a letter like this. This is just my generic letter that I use for everything, and I use Copilot to rewrite it, and it just depends on what thread I'm on. Depends on if it's an after booking, if it's a before cruise or after cruise. And I have clients that prefer, they don't get any mail from me. They prefer email. So I'll use the same thing and put this into an email format. It's just following up because we have a lot of opportunities in the follow-up. So again, knowing the clients, but like I said, going through this and actually, where'd it go? I do apologize, like I said. Right there it is. We added another monitor to this computer, so I'm having fun with it. Okay. So again, remembering birthdays. I have an entire calendar that I have nothing but their birthdays on it. Um, I'm bad about reaching out. Um, when I say with no agenda, what are reasons? Put it in the chat. What are some reasons that we could reach out with no agenda to sell? Does anybody got any ideas? I know we've already said birthday, anniversary. That's a great one. Holidays. There you go, right there. Christmas, holidays, anything that you have, like if you know, um, that, they're just having a tough time, you can reach out and just check in on them. You can also, like you're saying, with holidays, Father's Day, um, graduations is a great one. And especially with graduations, if you're reaching out beforehand just to check in and see how everything's going, you a lot of times may end up running into a sale because they're like, I meant to call you. So, but so that's a lot of it's in the follow-ups, it's in the details. But like I said, we have their backs. We make them feel like they're our only clients. And do you have a question? Okay. All right. So the trip ends, but the relationship doesn't. This is something we need to make sure that we understand. So their trip may end, but that doesn't mean our relationship with them has to end. With the continuing contact, like for anniversaries, birthdays, and it doesn't have to be anything elaborate. I've got clients that book regularly with me that I will go in a month or two before and send them a birthday card, send them an anniversary card. Just send something in the mail because I know that they cherish it. And normally, shortly after that, they give me a call. And about 7 or 8 out of those 10 times, I get a booking out of it because I reached out with no agenda. I reached out just to check on them. But, all right, so that's the end of the presentation. But so what I'm meaning by this, because I'll go into a little bit of detail. With all this, if you're reaching out to them, just if you're working on a Friday and things are slow, reach out, send them a text, give them a quick call. Tell them if you say you found a promotion that you knew they would like, reach out and tell them that. You can send it to them in an email, but it means so much more if you reach out and just a quick 10, 5, 10 minute call. Even if they take the call, just reach out. Hey, I'm just wanting to, check in on you. I saw this. I know this is something you're interested in. So I just wanted to make sure that you knew it was there. I see you got your hand up, Tamara. You can go ahead and unmute yourself.
Thank you. Thank you so much. It's my first time coming to your class, but I know I was like 4 minutes late. I just want to know if I can see the very first slide. I'm pretty sure I
Sure.
the first slide. That's all. And thank you. Like from what I
You're
heard, it was
welcome.
good. So thank
Okay.
you.
You're welcome. So here, this is the first slide. I just went over real quickly. And like I said, this will be recorded and put on my YouTube channel for everyone. But it's just explaining to you that it's a, so you found the client. Once you found the client, how do you keep them? Because a lot of times, us in the past, you've went in and you've taken and you've booked like Carnival, you've booked Royal, you've taken care of those yourself before. When you call Carnival or you call Royal or whoever, it's a transaction. They treat you as a transaction. I know me, I do a lot more and I will normally spend more if I go in and treat it as a conversation. So that was the first two slides. Did you see this slide when you came in?
No, I think you were maybe
Okay.
at two. I'm not sure, but what is
Okay.
your YouTube so I can follow that?
Okay. So my thing is I treat it as a conversation. So I go in and I want to understand the why behind the trip. I want to understand and build a relationship with the client. So like when they start off and they're telling me that they want to book a cruise, um, I'll point blank go in, all right, tell me about your cruise. Tell me about your dream trip. Tell me what's going to make this trip special because you're going to be able to go in and add so much more off of you coming in and going, how many parties are going to be in this room? Is there, do you want a 7 day or a 5 day? You can let them talk. And it's like they're having a conversation with a friend instead of having a conversation. Yes, I can show you the next slide. So, but that's this one. And once you do that and establish that relationship, they'll come back and also they're going to refer their friends.
Okay. What's your YouTube, Brian?
What's my what?
Your YouTube, your YouTube channel.
Oh, I'm going to put it in the chat here in just a second.
Thank you.
You're welcome. So, all right. So, yes, I will show this slide. So, with the setting expectations on this, um, like I said, we're the experts. Go in and explain. On this 7 day cruise, you're going to get 2 formal nights. Um, this is what you should expect here. You can do add-ons. So, like if you want to do the formal night and actually go to the steakhouse, let them know that's there. Let them know some of the little niches that you know about because that's going to establish you as someone that I am not doing this training weekly. I normally do about 3 to 4 trainings a month, Hazel. But this is my first time doing it for retention. But like I said, I try to spread my stuff out over a little bit of all. But give me just a second, get her to quit barking. Okay. But so follow up. Definitely a big thing is to follow up with them. Because if I go in and I send them a quote, I'm going to go in shortly after that and follow up in a few days to a week later. I do apologize. Give me a sorry, Beth. Somebody is having a fit. So okay, come here. All right. But so following up with them, setting that expectation with them that you're going to check in with them. Like when I send a quote out, I'll let them know, all right, I'll give you a day or so to look over. If it's not to your liking, let me know what you don't like. And but actually make sure that you're going to follow up with them. Set a reminder because that's the biggest way that we can lose clients is if we go in and we tell them we're going to message them back and we don't. That is a very big sorry, we moved my desk right beside a window and she is trying to get to the window to see the dog that is outside. But okay. All right. So, and just like I said, I know I've already went over this, but I know we've had some people that come in late. Remember what matters. So their name, the dates, the little details that make it personal. And I just realized that I had did this. All right. So have their backs. When things go wonky, they check in. Like I had a client check in a few weeks ago at a hotel. When they checked in, the reviews were absolutely perfect for this hotel. When they actually checked in, the hotel was anything but perfect. So we reached out to the hotel and actually got them to change their room. And I reached out to the hotel myself. I didn't go through and reach out to Archer because I wanted to contact the hotel myself first just to see if I could get it taken care of. Okay. And I'm going to go ahead and put my YouTube channel in here real quick, just so that y'all have it. Um, But again, I make sure that I make my clients feel like they're important and like they're the only one that's here and the only one that matters at the time, because at the time they are. They're the one that matters because they're the one that's in front of me. Um, but anything that you can think of that would make it to where it's special for them, that's going to be what you can hone into on this is, like I said, if you've got a client that's a little bit older or nostalgic that likes cards, send them a card, send them a birthday card, send them a Christmas, an anniversary card, whatever um, is going to make them feel extra special, because that's going to be what's going to bring them back to you, because the cruise line or the vendor is going to treat them like a transaction. We know they will. So that's one of the things that I try and set myself to a higher standard to make sure that I'm treating them like I would want to be treated. I'm treating them and trying to go above and beyond. I'm setting that expectation that, hey, on day 3 or day 4 of your cruise, it can waver sometimes between sailing to sailing, but you're probably going to have a party at this time, or like my normal is normally the last day of your cruise, you'll have a little get together. It could be on the Lido deck, it could be in one of the clubs, but there's normally some type of party, like the deck party, but it's going to be a farewell party. Um, I make sure I let them know about the captain's cocktail celebration, especially with Carnival. The reason for that is they're going to get discounts on drinks. And we'll let them know that those drinks, it depends on what the cruise line does, and it can vary. Um, you can let them know about things you've done in ports. I mean, because seriously, for Caribbean ports, I've sailed quite a bit in my life. So I'll go over and, like, if I've got a client going to Cozumel, I'll let them know that there are certain things that are really popular to do with kids, like Mr. Sancho's. Um, or if they're looking for something that's just a little bit more subdued, that you can go right down the street and there is Nachi Kokum, which is an adult. It's not adults only, but it's more geared towards adults. So I know this session has been quick. So what questions do we have? Because, like I said, with retention, it's all about making them feel special. So thinking about what can you do to make them feel special. And for me, number one, it's I do not treat them as a transaction. I treat them as a conversation. Number two, I want to go through and see what I can do that's not going to, that if they like letters or they like mail, send them something in the mail. If they don't, send an email. But it's just keeping them and their best interests in heart, because you're going to make them feel special. I always tell my new agents, always think of what you want, what you would want out of this. So if you're having a conversation with someone, like say you were booking something, what would you, what would make it feel extra special for you? So anybody got any questions, anything they want to add? I know this has been a short one, but that's my retention 101 in a gist. You're very welcome, Elizabeth. All right. Well, if nobody's got any questions or anything to add, I'm gonna go ahead and give y'all back your time. Like I said, that's just what I wanted to go over today, was just showing you that doing the little things, it actually matters. It really does matter, because it makes them feel special. It makes them um, understand that you are there for them. And if you're reaching out just periodically, as long as they're okay with it, then you don't have to worry about if the sale comes up, they're going to come to you, because you've reached out to them and you've reached out ever so often. You've let them know that sale was there, unless they tell you they don't want you to know. But reaching out and making sure that you are abiding by what they say is the best way to put it. So if they don't want you to reach out, don't bombard them. I'll send an email once ever so often, but that's all. But all right. Well, if nobody has any other questions or anything else, I'll go ahead and end it for today. And I will be putting this up on my YouTube once I get done editing it. Um, and I do apologize for all the issues and hiccups we had today, but y'all have a great day. And I look forward to seeing you on a future training.
Brian,
Yes.
Brian, I'm so sorry. I am here at the bank and I missed your last statement. But I just wanted to ask your suggestion what to do with this.
Mhm.
I booked a honeymoon for this couple last July for their honeymoon in November. And
Mhm.
then I'm checking up with her because I know it's coming up. November is coming up, and if they are doing their first anniversary, I know
Mhm.
that they should be doing something research like July, like last year, you know.
Mhm.
And she hasn't gotten back to me. I don't know if I am going to be a bug or you know, like I don't want to suffocate her so much, but I just texted her once or twice and she hasn't
Mhm.
responded.
Okay.
So I don't know if it's me that don't want to be forceful or aggressive, but yet we
Mhm.
still need to, as you are teaching us, we need to
Mhm.
connect with them, you know.
Yes. So, what I normally do there is if I've reached out to a guest and they're not responding, I have a 3-time attempt. So I will reach out the first time. I'll reach out and just, hey, just following up. I wanted to, I know your anniversary will be coming up and just wanted to offer any assistance that you may need. And the third time that I follow up, it will be well, I hope you have an amazing anniversary. I know that's coming up. If you need any assistance with any travel plans or anything, please don't hesitate to reach out. I am always here for you.
Okay. Okay. I will like I just texted her again today. I did not say all that. I just said,
Mhm.
hey girl, how are you doing? You know, I
Mhm.
have news for you, which I have, personal news
Mhm.
for her. I said, when is the good time to call you? So
Mhm.
I'm gonna give her a time, but the last one I got a hold of her was June the 7th. It's
Mhm.
not, it's like 2 weeks, right?
Yeah.
Hi, girl, just thinking of you and Alex. How are you guys settling with your new home? Because they move out of state. So
Mhm.
also maybe they are busy,
Yeah.
maybe, you know, because they just
Mhm.
moved out like a month ago or so.
Mhm. Yeah. So,
So
but
it's
yeah,
not being, go ahead.
just make sure that when you're sending the messages that you're giving them time to respond because we know life can be busy. So when I send that first attempt, I don't respond back like that unless I tell them that I'm going to. I normally give them at least 2 weeks in between each
2 weeks,
message.
okay. Yes, 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 yes. So June the 7th until now, it's good enough, right? And then
Yes.
maybe from now until 2 weeks to
Hmm.
check again,
Yep.
right? Okay.
Yep.
Okay,
So
thank you so much. Sorry,
you're
I'm
welcome.
here in the back making transaction. I said,
You're
I don't
you're
know if I
fine.
should ask him or what, but I didn't want
Mhm.
to let you go until I asked this one.
Yep. And something else you can do is if you have their new address and it's their anniversary coming up, send them an anniversary card.
Okay. And I don't have that. Shall I ask or is too much
If they're
like
not responding
on
already,
them?
yeah, if they're not responding already, I wouldn't ask. But if you've got their old address, they probably have a forward on their mail, so you can just send it to the last known address and see if it makes it. Because all you're
Okay,
out is the
forward it.
cost of cost of a stamp and
Yeah.
the card that you send.
Yes. Oh, yes, yes, yes. Okay, thank you, Brian. I hope to
You're
be in
welcome.
your training again.
All right.
Thank you.
You're very
Bye-bye.
welcome. Bye bye. Is there any other questions? All right. If there's no other questions, I'm going to go ahead and end the meeting for today. And I hope y'all have a great afternoon. And I look forward to seeing you in future trainings. Bye bye.